Shabbat Shalom. During the COVID pandemic, which is now almost 6 years ago, Sarah and I were missing attending live musical theater. So one evening, as I was searching through YouTube to find something to watch, one of my recommendations was for the song Empty Chairs at Empty Tables from Les Miserables, sung by Jonathan Antoine. Now, I had no idea who this guy was. He's a British singer who rose to fame after being on Britain's Got Talent back in 2012, and he was phenomenal. I was absolutely blown away by his performance. So this led Sarah and I to spend many evenings over the next many months as we were stuck in our apartment in LA, watching various versions of our favorite musical numbers from Les Mis and Phantom of the Opera and others. Now, I can't tell you how many times we watched Alfie Boe perform Bring Him Home. He is the greatest Jean Valjean of all time. So if you have not watched his performance, check it out. The two of us would often belt out our favorite tunes to the very best of our ability, which is not much. Definitely off-key. Evening after evening, the two of us would watch these performances and we would sing along with them. Singing together in our apartment, it offered a release from the anxiety and the fear and the isolation of the pandemic. In a time that felt dark and heavy, the music of the night transformed our space. This Shabbat is known as Shabbat Shirah, the Shabbat of song, named for the song that the Israelites sang after crossing the sea. And when Israel saw the wondrous power that God had wielded against the Egyptians, the people feared God, they had faith in God, and Moses, God's servant. Then Moses and the Israelites sang this song to God. They said, "I will sing to God who has triumphed gloriously." Now the Midrash in Shemot Rabbah poses the question, why did no one sing a song to God prior to this moment? Not Adam, nor Avraham, or Yitzchak, or Yaakov. None of them sang, despite witnessing the power and protection and beauty of God. But when the Israelites came to the sea and it was parted for them, they immediately proclaimed a song unto the Holy One, blessed be God. And God responded, quote, "To those I have been waiting." God was waiting for us to sing. But the Midrash adds that until the children of Israel sang their song, God's throne was not established. God was not fully known in the world. God's might and miracles were not enough. It took the Israelites to join together in song for God's presence to fully fill this world. For the children of Israel to proclaim not only what God had done for them, but who God is. Miracles may inspire awe, but it is communal song that creates the relationship. Song becomes the moment when salvation turns into shared meaning, and the children of Israel find their collective voice. At the sea, Israel does not simply survive, we sing. And in doing so, we officially become a people. Now, our sages ask, how do we serve God with joyfulness and with goodness of the heart? Rav Matana teaches that it is through song that we fulfill this commandment. Torah study, as great as it is, alone may rejoice the heart, as it says, Misamchei lev, but the Talmud insists that it is not called goodness. Only song fully embodies simcha uvetuv levav, joyfulness and with goodness of the heart. To sing is to serve God with our whole being. The Kedushat Levi helps us understand why songs contain joy and goodness of the heart. He says, quote, "The reason is that joy in one's heart, unless formulated in word and song, is bound to subside and cease altogether in short order. By giving verbal expression to one's joy in composing a song, in writing poetry, one prolongs and intensifies this feeling of joy. The Israelites at the sea were aware of this psychological axiom, and this is why they yearn to give proper expression to their joy. They yearn to share their joy with their Creator. And Rabbi Nachman adds, he says, music and song have a tremendous power to draw all of us closer to God. He teaches that we should get into the habit of always singing a tune. It will give us new life and send joy to our soul. Then we will be able to bind ourselves to God. This teaching echoes what we are taught in the Talmud from Rabbi Akiva, who says, Zamer b'chol yom, sing every day, sing every day. Our ancestors experienced the great joy and love that emerged from singing after crossing the sea, which led them to Mount Sinai, to the moment of our great revelation. Song was what propelled our ancestors to enter a deeper relationship with the divine. And it turns out that modern science echoes the benefits of singing for our physical and our mental health. A recent report from the BBC, it explains that singing produces measurable physical and mental effects in the body. Singing helps regulate breathing and our heart rate. It activates the vagus nerve and releases endorphins associated with pleasure, well-being, and even the suppression of pain. Singing also activates a broad network of neurons on both sides of our brain, causing regions that deal with language, movement, and emotion to light up. This, combined with the focus on breathing singing requires, it makes it an effective stress reliever. Medical specialists are also turning to singing as a way of improving the quality of life of those living with different health conditions. Around the world, researchers have studied the effects of joining dedicated community choirs established for cancer and stroke survivors, people living with Parkinson's disease and dementia, and their caregivers. For example, singing improves the ability of Parkinson's patients to articulate something which they are known to struggle with as the disease progresses. Singing also represents a way of boosting our general health, as it has been shown to be an underrated workout comparable to a brisk walk. Singing is a physical activity and may have some parallel benefits to exercise. So for us that don't like to go to the gym, we can simply just sing. But perhaps the most remarkable benefit of singing is that it appears to play a role in helping the brain repair itself from damage. Researchers have used similar approaches to help stroke survivors recover speech, as singing can provide the hours and hours of repetition needed to promote new connectivity between the two brain hemispheres, which is often damaged by an acute stroke. Singing is also thought to enhance the brain's neuroplasticity, which allows it to rewire itself and create new neurological networks. Psychologists have long marveled at how people who sing together can develop a powerful sense of social cohesion, with even among the most reluctant of vocalists becoming united in song. Research has shown that complete strangers can forge unusually close bonds after singing together for just 1 hour. That's the length of our morning minion service here. This is exactly what happened during the Song of the Sea. The Israelites, many of them were probably strangers. They came together and they lifted up their voices in song together. In that moment, their fear gave way to faith. And a group of former slaves became a community through song. So now that we understand both the power song had for our ancestors and the many physical, emotional, and communal benefits of singing, the call of Shabbat Shirah becomes clear. We are invited to lift our voices together, not only when we feel confident, not only when we think that we sound good, but simply because singing is how our souls rise when we are together. There is a vulnerability in singing. I don't like singing in public. I have a terrible voice. We wonder whether our voices are strong enough, whether we know the words, whether our song really matters at all. We may feel that our thoughts are incomplete, our melodies are imperfect, or that perhaps our voices are just better being quiet. But the Grateful Dead taught us something very important. If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine and my tunes were played on the harp unstrung, would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near as it were your own? Our tradition insists otherwise. God does not ask us to be perfect singers. God asks us to be present. When we sing, whether our voices shine brightly or they feel like a harp unstrung, God hears our voices come through the music, and God holds our songs near. It's a hand-me-down, the thoughts are broken. Perhaps they're better left unsung, I don't know, don't really care. And that is where the song turns from doubts into freedom. The freedom to just stop measuring ourselves. The freedom to sing anyway. To trust that imperfect song is still a beautiful offering in the ears of God. And that God is always listening. So as the Grateful Dead say, let there be songs to fill the air. Shabbat Shalom.